Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Friday, September 30th, 2022. Today I'm going to recap last night's Thursday night football game, look ahead to Sunday's games. College football, go over yesterday's two games, look ahead to the games being played on Saturday and tonight as well. NHL preseason we have as well. Then we have Major League Soccer, golf, NASCAR. If we have time, we'll recap Wednesday night's episode of Survivor, news and notes, and a best bet in the Fab Five. We'll start with Thursday night football in what was a very interesting game last night as the Bengals came out on top by a score of 27-15. Cincinnati back to 500 at 2-2. Miami drops to 3-1. So the lone undefeated team left in the league is the Philadelphia Eagles. And Joe Burrow, 20-31, 287 yards and 2 touchdowns. Teddy Bridgewater came in because Tua Tagovailoa left the game due to head and neck injuries. 14-93, 193 yards, a touchdown, the pick. And Tua was 8 of 14, 110 yards and a pick, and was sacked once. And it was the sack that led to him going to the hospital. But the good news is that Tua will be okay. We'll get into more of that in news and notes because we have a lot to get done today. Now we'll get into Sunday's games. First up, 9:30 on the NFL Network, you have the Vikings and the Saints from London. First game in London this year. We have a couple of them in London. The Vikings are favored in this game by 2.5. The total is 43.5. The play here is going to be slight under, regardless of who plays at quarterback for the Saints. Because there's rumors that it's going to be Andy Dalton instead of Jameis. But if that's the case, my projected line goes up, and the actual line probably goes up as well. 1 o'clock on CBS, you have the Browns at the Falcons. The Browns are... Ooh, where is this game? There it is. Browns are favored by 1.5. Totals 47.5. I'm going to take the Falcons getting the 1.5, and I'll take them plus 104 to win outright. The Falcons haven't been that terrible on offense, and they're home. I don't think that they'll choke here, but that's why I think it would be wise to just take them getting the 1.5 in case there is a choke by the Falcons. But then you're going to say, Madison, why don't you just take the money line then if it's either going to win or they're going to lose? But they might lose by 1. They're like one of the few teams I would take to just cover the 1.5 and say, like, yeah, I can see them losing by 1. But I do think Atlanta wins this game outright. On Fox, you have the Commanders at the Cowboys. Cowboys are given 3 totals, 41.5. I'm taking the over. I project 4 and 44.5. And by the way, the game in London, I have Vikings by 3, total 41 and 17/20. And Browns Falcons, I have Falcons by 3, total 48 and 9/20. So I'm gonna take the over in the Cowboy game. I think their offense showed a little something against the Giants last week, and they just missed a lot of opportunities. The Washington Commanders defense is worse than the Giants defense. So therefore, I like the over, and I think that Washington's offense will bounce back a little bit as well, albeit against a really good Cowboy defense. Seahawks, Lions. The Lions are giving 4.5, totals 48.5. I'm going to say slight edge to the Lions. I know they have a lot of injuries that they're dealing with. I project 6 and 48 and 3/10. This game is on Fox as well. Also on Fox at 1, you have the Titans at the Colts. The Colts are favored by 3.5, totals 42.5. I'm laying it with the Colts. I think they're much better than the Titans. Yeah, they might be missing some key pieces. I know Tannehill and Matt Ryan have both been atrocious this year. But a pure talent play, and based on preseason projections, Colts is the play. I project 10 and 42 and 9-10. So I'm laying it with the Indianapolis Colts. Also on Fox, Bears Giants. The Giants are giving 3, totals 39.5. I'm going to lay the 3 with the Giants. I think the Bears are really bad. I think the Giants bounce back after their loss to the Cowboys. The Cowboys are easily the best team of the 3 that they've faced so far. Yeah, the Giants, I don't think, are a good team either. But the Bears are worse than the Giants. I project 5 and 39 and a 5th. So I'm going to lay the 3 with the New York Football Giants. Jaguars-Eagles on CBS. Great game. The Eagles are favored by 6.5. Totals 45.5. I love the Eagles. Love them. Everyone and their mother loves the Jaguars. The Jaguars are the darlings of the league right now. Oh, Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence has been great. I understand that. The Philadelphia Eagles are a better football team than the Jacksonville Jaguars. Say what you want. Yes, they have a quarterback advantage in this game, I think, with Lawrence over Hurts. But it's close. Give Jalen Hurts some respect. I'm laying the 6.5 with the Philadelphia Eagles. I project 12 and 44 and 3/20. Also on CBS, Jets Steelers. The Steelers are giving 3, totals 41.5. I'm laying the 3 with the Pittsburgh Steelers. We might see Kenny Pickett in this game. I know Zach Wilson's back, but he is going to be throwing behind a bad offensive line. Yeah, the Steelers' offensive line is bad too, but the best unit on the field in this game might be the Steelers' defense. So I'm going to lay the 3 with Pittsburgh. I project 7.5 and 44 and a 5th. So I'm going to lay the points with Pittsburgh. 4 o'clock on Fox, you have the Cardinals at the Panthers. Oh, wait, no, I skipped a couple games. All right, never mind. Bills-Ravens, that's a big one. The Bills are giving 3, totals 51. I'm taking the Ravens. I project Pick'em and 48 and 19/20. I think the Ravens win this game outright. No, I think the Bills are better, but the Ravens are home. I like that I'm getting 3 with the presumptive MVP right now in Lamar Jackson. And from a media standpoint, everyone thinks it's Lamar over Josh Allen. And Lamar has that Aaron Judge narrative going in terms of getting paid in a not being paid in a contract year. So I'm taking the Ravens getting the 3 at home against the Bills. And I'll take the plus 136 for them to win the game outright. And Chargers-Texans. A lot of 1 o'clock games this week. And then we have the game in London as well. The Chargers are giving 5.5, totals 44.5. I'm going to lay the 4.5 for the Chargers. Granted, they have a lot of injuries right now, but the Texans are just atrocious. I project 8.5 and 45 and 7/20. It looks like Herbert will play again. I think he'll play better than he did against the Jaguars. So I'm going to lay the 4.5 with Los Angeles against Houston. Now we're into the 4 o'clock window. 4 o'clock on Fox, you have the Cardinals at the Panthers. The Panthers are a 1.5 point favorite. Totals 43.5. This is a hard one. I'm going to take a slight over. I project 1 and 44 and 19/20. 4:25 on CBS, you have the Patriots at the Packers. This is going to be the Jim Nantz, Tony Romo game, although it shouldn't. CBS, I think, has done a somewhat of a poor job this season in terms of picking where their top team's going based on favoritism towards star players. and teams that are living in the past, Patriots and Steelers. And the teams obviously getting favoritism, Chiefs. Meanwhile, they should have been at Chargers-Raiders week 1. They should be at Chargers-Broncos this week. But maybe the narrative about the AFC West is right about how we overrated the division before the year, which is true. I mean, I think it's mostly has to do with the Chargers and their injuries personally. And Nathaniel Hackett and how poor he's been through 3 weeks. But that said, Patriots-Packers on CBS, Nance and Romo on the call, and Tracy Wolfson. Packers are giving 9.5, totals 39.5. I'm going to lay the 9.5 at Green Bay. I don't think Mac Jones is going to play. Getting under 10 without Mac Jones is a gift. I project 15.5 and 41 in the fifth. Broncos-Raiders. The Raiders are giving 2.5, totals 45.5. I'm taking Denver getting the 2.5, and I have them favored by 4 total, 39 and 19/20. So I do have a nice edge on the under as well. So let's see here for a moment. I actually do have a larger edge on Denver. So I'll take the 2.5. And maybe the Raiders win by 2 or 1 in a close game. And maybe McManus. I'm going to predict this. I'm going to go against picking Denver outright in terms of the podcast. But I think that McManus misses a kick late and Denver still covers, but they won't win. And then we'll be talking shit about Nathaniel Hackett again. Sunday Night Football, 8:20, NBC. Chiefs-Buccaneers. Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth on the call. The Buccaneers are a 1-point favorite after the Chiefs were favored initially. Total is 45.5. I'm going to lay the 1 with the Buccaneers. I think this is a good spot for them to bounce back. I project 3.5 and 45. So there you have it. And then we'll save Monday night for Monday night. All right, now we'll move on to college football. Very busy weekend ahead in college football. Should be a lot of fun, though. So we'll begin with tonight. I believe the first game's at 7. But we have to go over last night's games first. But yeah, tonight's first game's at 7. So South Carolina over SC State 50-10. South Carolina's 3-2. SC State's 1-3. And good thing they got this game in because Hurricane Ian's headed towards Charleston. That's not good. So good for the Gamecocks for getting this game in. And then number 19, BYU over Utah State, 38-26. Utah State hung around this game. BYU's 4-1. Utah State's 1-4. Now we look ahead to tonight, 7 o'clock on ESPN. You have Tulane against Houston. Interesting game in the American. Houston's a 2.5-point favorite. Total's 54.5. I'm going to go for my pick here with the over. I project Houston by a half. Total 56 and 17/20. And I wouldn't rule out Tulane winning the game outright. 7:30 on CBS Sports Network, UTSA in Middle Tennessee. UTSA is favored by 4.5, total 64.5. I love UTSA. I'm laying that 4.5. Falika gave it out on his show, and he gave out Tulane as well. So I'm going to lay the 4.5 with UTSA against Middle. I project 17 and 65 and 2/5. 8 o'clock, Fox Sports 1, San Diego State, Boise State. Boise's favorite by 6.5, total is 38.5. I'm going to go with the over. That is a low total. I do like San Diego State getting the points too, but for the podcast play, I'm going to go with the over. I project 3 and 43 and a quarter. 10:30 ESPN, the best game of the night. Number 15, Washington at UCLA. Washington's giving 2.5, total 64.5. I'm taking UCLA getting the 2.5, and I like them to win outright at plus 122. I project 5.5 in favor of UCLA, total 61 and 2 fits. So I'm taking UCLA getting the 2.5 and plus 122 to win outright. 11 o'clock, CBS Sports Network, Mexico and UNLV. UNLV's favorite by 14.5, total is 43.5. I like the over. I think it's going to be a lot more points in this game than people think. UNLV's a good offense. Mexico has a bad defense. Therefore, over. And I project 9.5 and 51 and 2 fits. Now we move on to Saturday, October 1st. So tomorrow's October, which is amazing. 12 o'clock on Fox, number for Michigan and Iowa. Should be a fun game from Kinnick Stadium. Michigan's favored by 10.5, totals 41.5. I'm taking Iowa getting the 10.5. I think Iowa always likes to get up for these type of games. I don't know if they'll win the game outright, but I think that they'll cover the double-digit spread. ESPN, number 7 Kentucky at number 14 Ole Miss. And by the way, I have Michigan 7 total, 41 and 9/10. Ole Miss is favored by 6.5. Total is 54.5. I'm taking the under. I think that the total is pretty high. I project 5.5 and 47 and 13/20. On ABC, number 18 Oklahoma at TCU. Oklahoma's giving 6.5. Total 68.5. I'm taking the under. I just don't think there's going to be as many points as that number suggests. I project Oklahoma by 8, total 62 and 17/20. On ESPN2, Purdue at number 21, Minnesota. Minnesota's favored by 12.5, totals 51.5. That'd be crazy if they're favored by 20-something, but I think it's crazy that they're favored this much. I'm taking Purdue getting the points. I think that Purdue's better than that number. Minnesota ranked. I love betting against teams that are new to the rankings. And I project 3 and 55 and 11/20. Yes, Minnesota by 3, total 55 and 11/20. I think Minnesota still wins, but it'll be close. Texas Tech at number 25, Kansas State. Kansas State's giving 7.5, totals 57.5. I like the under. I think that it'll be a lower scoring game in this one. I project 5.5 and 46 and 7/10. CBS Sports Network, Georgia State Army. Army's a 7.5 point favorite. Total's 54.5. I have 2 big edges. One big edge on Georgia State and one big edge on the over. I'm going to go with my big edge on the over. I project a pick'em and 66 and 11/20. Big Ten Network, Illinois, Wisconsin. Wisconsin's a 7-point favorite. Total is 43.5. I'm going slight over. I project 8 and 45 and a 20th. ACC Network, Louisville, Boston College. I project Louisville by 14. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't project Louisville by that much. I'll get to my projection in a second. Louisville's favored by 14.5. Total's 50.5. I love Boston College getting all those points. That is way too many points for Boston College. Louisville's a nice team. And I would actually take a shot at plus 480 for BC to win outright. I project BC by a half, total 46 and 19/20. I love Boston College getting all those points. But I don't know if they'll actually win outright. On CBS, Navy Air Force. Air Force is a 14-point favorite, total 37.5. Nice edge on Air Force, nice edge on the over. I'm taking the over. I project 20 and 45 and 9/10. ESPNU, Temple, Memphis. Memphis is favored by 18.5. Total's 50.5. I'm going to lay the 18.5 with Memphis. They're much better than Temple. I project 20.5 and 51. 1:30, Texas State, James Madison. JMU's giving 21.5, totals 51.5. I love Texas State getting all those points, and I would take a shot 10-1 for them to win outright. I would actually project Texas State as a 2.5-point favorite, total 53 and 13/20. I underrated JMU going into the year because they came over from FCS, and you thought like they usually teams that transfer aren't good right away. I mean, Liberty might have been good when they transferred. I vaguely remember them being okay. But this James Madison team is pretty good. I feel bad that I have them projected so lopsided in terms of what they are in the market. 2 o'clock on the Pac-12 Network, Oregon State at number 12, Utah. Utah's favored by 10.5, totals 54.5. I'm taking the over. I think there's going to be a lot of points in this game. I think Oregon State's offense will bounce back, and I think Utah will put up some points as well. UMass and Eastern Michigan. Eastern's favored by 20.5, totals 53.5. I don't know why I always give out UMass on the shows because they inflate the terrible teams. So I'm going to take UMass plus the 20.5. Northern Illinois, Ball State. Northern's favored by 4.5, totals 60.5. I'm going to take Ball State getting the 4.5 and plus 152 outright. I project Ball State by a half, total 59 3/4. And by the way, for Oregon State and Utah, I project Utah by 10.5, total 58 and 13/20. And Eastern Michigan's giving 13, total is 55 3/4. Alrighty. 2:30, we have East Carolina and South Florida. They had to move this from Raymond James Stadium due to inclement weather from Hurricane Ian, as they're playing at FAU Stadium in Boca Raton now. So ECU's favored by 8.5, totals 57.5. I'm taking the under. I don't think there'll be many points scored in this game compared to the total. I project 8.5 and 54 and 9/10. 3:30, CBS, number 2 Alabama, number 20 Arkansas. Great game. Bama's favored by 17.5, total 60.5. I'm going to take Arkansas getting the 17.5 at a juice number. Don't feel good about that, though. I project 14.5 and 57 and 11/20. Rutgers, Ohio State. Rutgers at number 3, Ohio State. Boy, this is going to be a big spread. So Ohio State is favored in this game by trying to find the odds here for this game because New Jersey doesn't have it. Ohio State is favored by 39.5. And the total for this game is 58. I'm going to take Rutgers getting all the points. I project 28 and 55 and 3/10. I don't think Rutgers is that bad. But I do think Ohio State is that good, though. Next up, on Fox, number 9 Oklahoma State at number 16 Baylor. Should be an interesting game. I wonder if this is Gus Johnson's game or if he has the first game. So Baylor's favored in this game by 2.5, totals 56.5. I have a nice edge on Oklahoma State and a nice edge on the over. The question is, where do I go? I'm going to go with the over. I think there's a lot more points in this game than people think. I project Oklahoma State by 3.5, total 65 and 17/20. I am willing to take Oklahoma State plus 114. But the play for the podcast is going to be the over. ESPN Northwestern at number 11 Penn State. Penn State is giving 24.5, totals 51.5. I am going to take Northwestern again all the points. No, they won't win, obviously. They'll just hang around. I project 18 and 52 and 7/10. ABC, number 22 Wake Forest and number 23 Florida State. So it looks like this game is good to go in Tallahassee. Florida State's giving 6.5, totals 64.5. Very close to what I have projected. I have FSU 5.5, totals 64 and 4/5. So I'm going to go slight lean Wake Forest getting the points. ESPN 2, Iowa State, Kansas. Iowa State's giving 3, total 58.5. I like Iowa State minus the 3. I feel like a lot of people do as well. I just don't think Kansas is there yet, and I think this is their wake-up call. Give me Iowa State minus the 3. CBS Sports Network, Fresno State, UConn. Fresno is a big favorite. They're favored by 23.5, totals 52.5. I'm going to take UConn getting the points. The quarterback might not be back yet. Even if I did throw that in the projection here, I'd make Fresno by 7. But it's UConn for crying out loud. I'm taking them getting the points. But I just think that Fresno just run out clock, run the ball, do that thing. Fox Sports 1, Michigan State, Maryland. Maryland's given 7.5, totals 58.5. I like Michigan State getting the points. Maryland, I don't think will lose this game. I just think that Michigan State hangs around. I project 3 and 56. And by the way, for Iowa State, Kansas, I project Iowa State 7, total 60 and a 20th. And Fresno, UConn, I project 10 and 53 and 9/10. And that's with the quarterback. ACC Network, Virginia Tech, North Carolina. UNC's giving 9.5, total 54.5. I like the over a lot. UNC is like an automatic over to me. I have it this 5.5 and 61 and 9/10. NFL Network, Central Michigan, Toledo. Toledo's given 7.5, totals 56.5. I like the over. I project 8 and 60 and 9/20. Bowling Green, Akron. Bowling Green's favored by 9.5, totals 50.5. Two nice edges. I like the over. I project Bowling Green 4.5, totals 62 and 9/10. So Akron getting the points is a wise play as well if you want to do a same game parlay with that. Miami of Ohio at Buffalo. Buffalo's giving 1.5, total 50.5. I'm going to take the over. I project 5.5 and 54 and 9/20. Ohio, Kent State. Kent's giving 11.5, total 65.5. I'm taking Ohio getting the points. I think that's a lot for Kent to be giving. I project 8 and 66 and 4/5. The Citadel at App State. I project App State 38, total 49 and 9/10. And Gardner Webb Marshall, I project Marshall 38.5, total 51 and 3/10. 4 o'clock on the SEC Network, number 17, Texas A&M at Mississippi State. I project Miss State by 3.5, total 44.5. I'm taking A&M getting the 3.5 and plus 158 to win outright. I project 2 in favor of A&M in the total 45 and 17/20. Georgia Southern, Coastal Carolina, I think, got canceled because of the storm. Because I don't see it on here. FAU, North Texas. I project FAU by 3.5, total 67.5. I'm taking North Texas getting the 3.5 and plus 132 to win outright. 5 o'clock, Wagner, Syracuse. I project Syracuse by 56, total 56 and 2/5. This is the rare instance where the numbers are so close and just project like 56-0 or something like that. South Alabama, Louisiana. South Alabama is giving 8.5, totals 47.5. I think the wrong team's favored. Giving ULL plus 8.5 and plus 280 outright. I project 3 and 53 and 1/5. Cal Wazoo at 5:30 on the Pac-12 Network. Wazoo's giving 3.5, total 53.5. I like the under. I don't think there'll be that many points in this game. I project 3 and 50.5. 6 o'clock, Liberty, Old Dominion. Liberty's favored by 3.5, total 42.5. So I do have a nice edge on Old Dom, and I do have a good edge on the over. I project Old Dom by a half, total 47 and 3/20. Sorry, I blanked on math for a second. So I'm going to take the over. But I would throw Old Dominion in a money line underdog parlay round robin. New Hampshire at Western Michigan. I project Western by 20.5, total 53 and 3/5. UTEP Charlotte. UTEP's giving 2.5, total 54.5. I like UTEP minus the 2.5, even though it's very juicy at minus 128. I project 7 and 56 and 3/5. 7 o'clock on ESPN, LSU Auburn. LSU's favored by 8.5, total 46.5. I love Auburn getting 8.5 and plus 250 outright. I project Auburn 5.5, total 49 and 3/5. Auburn's winning this game outright. ESPNU, Cincinnati, Tulsa. Cincinnati's giving 10.5, total 58.5. I like the over. I think there's going to be a lot of points in this game. I project 7 and 66 and 9/10. Georgia Southern Coastal Carolina is actually 7 o'clock, so they just moved the time up for this game. It wasn't scheduled for 6, but it's at 7. Coastal's giving 9.5, total 64.5. I'm laying it with Coastal. They're the better team than Georgia Southern. I just think Georgia Southern's getting pumped for their upset over Nebraska, which was weeks ago. I project 15.5 and 64 and 19/20. UL Monroe at Arkansas State. Arkansas State's giving 7.5, total 59.5. I'm going to lay the points. I project 10.5 and 57 and 7/10. Troy and Western Kentucky. Western's giving 5.5, totals 54.5. I'm going to lay the points with Western. Western's so much better than Troy. I project 10.5 and 55 and 2/5. 7:30 on the SEC Network. Number 1, Georgia at Missouri. Georgia's favored by 28.5, total 54.5. I'm going to take Missouri getting all those points. No, I don't think Missouri's very good, but I just think they hang around against Georgia, who let Kent State hang around. And I think Missouri's a little bit better than Kent State. ABC, the big game. Number 10, NC State at number 5, Clemson. Clemson's giving 6.5, totals 43.5. I love the over. Love it. This is, I think, one of the locks of the year. I don't want to guarantee it the lock of the year because weather permitting, obviously. And I project Clemson 8, total 56 and 7/10. But this under is bet down to 39.5 at one point. Now it's back up to 43.5. But I still like this over a lot. And it's bettable for me. So I like over 43.5 between NC State and Clemson in what should be game of the week, where game day is rightfully headed this week. Fox Sports 1, West Virginia, Texas. Texas is favored by 9.5, total 63.5. My numbers are very close. I'm going to go with a slight lean to West Virginia. I project this 8 and 64 and 3/10. It looks like that Ewers will be back for this game for Texas, which is good. Big Ten Network, Indiana, Nebraska. Nebraska's giving 5.5, total 60.5. My numbers are pretty close. I like a slight over. I project 5.5 and 62 and a 20th. Virginia Duke. Duke's favored by 2.5, total 51.5. I have a nice edge on the under and a nice edge on Virginia. I'm going to go with the under. It's a bigger differential. Yeah, it is. I project Virginia 2, total 45 and 7/10. CBS Sports Network, San Jose State, Wyoming. San Jose State's giving 2.5, totals 42.5. I'm going to take the over. I project 4.5 and 45 and 2/5. UAB Rice. UAB's giving 9.5, total 51.5. I love UAB minus 9.5. Getting them under double digits against a bad Rice team's pretty good. So I'm going to lay 9.5. I project 18.5 and 57 and 3/20. 8 o'clock on the ACC Network, Georgia Tech at number 24, Pitt. Pitt's giving 21.5, total 48.5. I'm going to lay to 21.5 with Pitt. Pitt's so much better than Georgia Tech. And none of these teams that have fired their coaches have responded in big ways yet. FIU, New Mexico State. Boy, this is the worst game of the week. New Mexico State's giving 14.5, total 54.5. I actually predict FIU by 12.5, total 58.5. I just thought New Mexico State was going to be really bad this year. I'm taking FIU getting all those points. I would take a dab at plus 440 as well, but FIU is probably the worst team in the country. 9:30 Pac-12 Network, Colorado at Arizona. Arizona's giving 16.5, total 57.5. I'm taking Colorado getting the points. That is a lot of points. I don't think Arizona's that good. I project 8 and 59 1/5. 10:30 ESPN, Arizona State at number 6 USC. USC's giving 25.5, total 60.5. I like the under. I don't think USC will score as much as they. Okay, next up, 11 o'clock on Fox Sports 1, Stanford at number 13, Oregon. Oregon's giving 17, total 62.5. I like Oregon minus the points. I don't think Stanford's very good, as we've talked about on the podcast a lot. I project 25 and 65 and 11/20. And in the other Pac-12 game, I just talked about Arizona State SC. I project 23 and 54 and 7/20. We have a couple games on Sunday, believe it or not. 12 o'clock, we have Eastern Washington at Florida. I project Florida 36, total 65 and 2/5. And 1 o'clock is SMU UCF. UCF's giving 3.5, total 64.5. I love UCF minus the points. Absolutely love it. I project 15.5, total 55 and 9/10. Picking against SMU's been a lot of fun on the podcast so far. I just don't get it with SMU. Just don't get it. I know they have talent, but just don't get it. I love UCF in this spot. Alrighty. Now move on to Major League Baseball. We'll go over the results of all the games very quickly and look ahead to everything going on over the weekend. White Sox over the Twins 4-3. Tigers over the Orioles 10-3. Red Sox over the Orioles 5-3. Cubs over the Phillies 2-0. Guardians over the Rays 2-1. Marlins over the Brewers 4-2. Angels over the A's 4-2. Dodgers over the Padres 5-2. Mariners over the Rangers 10-9-11 on a walk-off infield single by J.P. Crawford. And the Giants over the Rockies 6-4. So after it looked like it was going to run away with best bet, it barely won. All right, 1 o'clock, doubleheader game 1, Phillies Nationals. Bailey Falter and Eric Feed. I wonder if this is makeup from earlier in the season when they had the week off, or they took away the week because of the lockout. The Phils are minus 196. The Nats are plus 164. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 104. Unders minus 118. Phils minus 1.5 is minus 118. Nats plus 1.5 is minus 102. Betting against the Phillies feels like a given right now, considering that they're 3-10 in September, having a big collapse. Give you the Nats plus 1.5 at minus 102. 220 Reds Cubs. Graham Ashcraft and Adrian Sampson. Cubs minus 148. Reds plus 126. Over under 7. Overs minus 120. Unders minus 102. Reds plus 1.5 is minus 70. Cubs minus 1.5 is plus 140. The Cubs have been playing good ball lately. Been spoiling everybody's October dreams. I'm going with the Cubs' first half run line minus 0.5 at even money. 7 o'clock, Orioles, Yankees, Jordan Lyles and Domingo Germán. Yanks minus 174, Orioles plus 146, over under 7.5, overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Orioles plus 1.5 is minus 150, Yankees minus 1.5 is plus 125. I'm going to go with the Yankees run line. Minus 1.5 at plus 125. I think that the Yankees should win this game going away. The Orioles are kind of out of it. So I like the Yanks run line. I'd parlay with that with the over, too. Phil's Nats again. Noah Syndergaard, we know is going for the Nats. Oh. It's posted, though. Phil's minus 200, Nats plus 168, over under 8, overs minus 120, unders minus 102. Phil's minus 1.5 is minus 114, Nats plus 1.5 is minus 105. Nats front line against the pick. Minus 105 this time. Red Sox, Blue Jays, Nick Pivetta and Alek Manoah. Jays minus 180, Red Sox plus 152, over under 8, minus 110 each way. Jays minus 1.5 is plus 114, Red Sox plus 1.5 is minus 137. Going with the Blue Jays run line, they need... Actually, no. They clinched a playoff spot. That's why making a case for the Red Sox is actually enticing. but they're still playing for home field. But you know what? I'm taking the under instead. I changed my mind on the spot. They still want home field in the wild card round, so that's what they still have to play for. Royals Guardians, Brady Singer and Aaron Savali. Guardians minus 142, Royals plus 120, over under 7. Overs minus 102, unders minus 120. Royals plus 1.5 is minus 194. Guardians minus 1.5 is plus 160. I'm going over. Twins Tigers, Joe Ryan and Tyler Alexander. Twins minus 172, Tigers plus 136, over under 7, minus 110 each way. Twins minus 1.5 is plus 116, Tigers plus 1.5 is minus 140. I like the over. Mets Braves at 720 from Atlanta. Jacob deGrom and Max Fried. Mets minus 126, Braves plus 108, over under 6.5, overs minus 104, unders minus 118. Mets minus 1.5 is plus 146, Braves plus 1.5 is minus 176. Max Fried has been every bit as good as Jacob deGrom has in his short sample size this year. The reason why the Mets are favored in Vegas is because of the guy who's starting on the mound. I like the Braves plus 1.8 to win outright against the Mets. Marlins Brewers, Sandy Alcantara and Corbin Burns. Brewers minus 188, Marlins plus 158, over under 6, minus 110 each way. Marlins plus 1.5 is minus 156, Brewers minus 1.5 is plus 130. I can't believe it's 6, that total. I'm not over that. But I'm going to take the over because that's just the lowest total ever. Rays Astros, Drew Rasmussen and Framber Valdez. Astros minus 188, Rays plus 158, over under 7, overs minus 104, unders minus 118. Rays plus 1.5 is minus 146, Astros minus 1.5 is plus 122. I'm going to go with the juiced under, minus 118. 8:15, Pirates Cardinals, Johan Oviedo and Jack Flaherty. Cardinals minus 10, Pirates plus 176, over under 7, overs minus 118, unders minus 104. Pirates plus 1.5 is minus 122, Cardinals minus 1.5 is plus 102. I'm going to go with the juiced over. 9:30, Rangers Angels, Glenn Otto and Reed Detmers. Angels minus 174, Rangers plus 148, over under 8, overs minus 118, unders minus 104. But the Rangers are plus 146. I missed that one. Rangers plus 1.5 is minus 154, Angels minus 1.5 is plus 128. I'm going to go with the juiced over. Next up, you have the White Sox at the Padres. Davies, Martin, and Yu Darvish. White Sox eliminated from playoff contention. Padres are minus 215. White Sox plus 180, over under 7.5, minus 110 each way. White Sox plus 1.5 is minus 120. Padres minus 1.5 is even money. I really like the over in this game. A's Mariners, Ken Waldichuk and Logan Gilbert. Mariners minus 260, A's plus 215, over under 7, overs minus 102, unders minus 120. A's plus 1.5 is minus 106, Mariners minus 1.5 is minus 113. I'm going Mariners run line. Rockies Dodgers at 10, Chad Cole and Clayton Kershaw. Dodgers minus 450, Rockies plus 350, over under 8, overs minus 104, unders minus 118. Rockies plus 1.5 is plus 158, Dodgers minus 1.5 is minus 192. I'm going with the juiced under. And last but not least, 10-15, D-backs Giants, Merrill Kelly, Alex Cobb. Giants minus 132, D-backs plus 112, over under 7, overs minus 122, unders even money. D-backs plus 1.5 is minus 28, Giants minus 1.5 is plus 155. This is a hard one, but I'm going to go with first half result with the Giants at plus 105. All right, now move on to the NHL preseason. We'll go over results and look ahead to this weekend's preseason action. Jets over the Canadiens 4-3. Devils over the Rangers 5-2. Hurricanes over the Panthers 5-2. And I said the Canes 2-1. would have been good, but comes out to be a regret. Preds over to Lightning 3-0. Wild over to Stars 5-2. Blues over to Kraken 4-2. And the Kraken, or the Blues over to Blue Jackets 4-2. And the Kraken over to Canucks 4-3 in overtime on a game-winning goal by Ryan Donato. The games for tonight, 6 o'clock, you have the Lightning against the Predators. Let's see if there's betting available for this. We have a lot of SHL. The only preseason game that's posted in terms of betting is Flames Oilers. All right, so 7 o'clock Rangers Devils, Maples Leafs Sens, 7:30 Caps Red Wings, 9 o'clock Flames Oilers, 10 o'clock NHL Network. It's Sharks and Ducks, and then the split squad with the Sharks against the Golden Knights. Saturday, 1 o'clock Penguins Sabres, Flyers Bruins, Panthers Canes, 7 o'clock Canadian Senators, Caps Jackets, Stars Blues at 8, Oilers Jets, 8:30 Red Wings Blackhawks, 9:30 Canucks Kraken. And then Sunday, 7 o'clock, Flyers Islanders. That's a tongue twister. 7:30 Wild Blackhawks, and 9 o'clock the Ducks against the Kings. All right, now move on to Major League Soccer. We have a busy weekend ahead. We have a game tonight and then some games over the weekend. So that should be a lot of fun. So tonight at 7:30 of Toronto against Miami. Toronto's plus 105 at home. Miami's plus 195. Draw is plus 280. For this game, I'm going to go with Miami on the road at plus 195. Saturday, 1:30, New England hosting Atlanta. New England plus 120, Atlanta plus 175, draw plus 270. I'm going with New England at home. 3:30, Colorado hosting Dallas. Colorado plus 105, Dallas 2-1, draw plus 270. I'm going Colorado. 5:30, Charlotte's hosting Philly. Charlotte plus 165, Philly plus 135, draw plus 230. I'm going with the Union on the road. 7:30, Club Football, or CF Montreal and DC United. Montreal's a big favorite at home, minus 240. DC's plus 490, draw plus 360. I'm going to go over 3.5 goals at plus 140. Columbus Red Bulls. Columbus plus 115, draw plus 210. Or I'm sorry, Red Bulls plus 210, draw plus 220. This is a big one. I'm going to go with the draw here at plus 220. It's very valuable. Cincinnati's hosting Chicago. Cincy's minus 165, Chicago plus 350, draw plus 310. I'm going to go with under 2.5 goals plus 146. 10 o'clock, you have San Jose hosting Minnesota. San Jose's plus 120, Minnesota's plus 165, draw plus 280. I'm going to go with Minnesota here at plus 165. Vancouver, Austin. Vancouver's plus 120. Austin's plus 180. Draws plus 260. I'm going to go with Austin on the road at plus 180. It's a valuable number. And 10:30, the Galaxy's hosting Salt Lake. Galaxy minus 160. Salt Lake plus 350. Draw 3-1. I'm going to go with under 2.5 goals at plus 140. And in 4 games on Sunday, 1 o'clock, you have NYCFC hosting Orlando. They'll be playing probably at Citi Field. No, Red Bull Arena. NYCFC's minus 135. Orlando's plus 310. Draw plus 260. I'm going to go under 2.5 goals at even money. 3 o'clock on ABC, Portland LAFC. That's a decent game. Portland's plus 175 at home. LAFC's plus 125 on the road. And the draw is plus 260. I'm going to go with the draw at plus 260. 5 o'clock, you have KC hosting Seattle. KC's plus 105, Seattle plus 210, draw plus 250. I'm going with KC plus 105. And at 8:30, you have Nashville hosting Houston. Nashville's minus 230. Houston plus 490, draw plus 340. I'm going to go under 2.5 goals at plus 130. All right, now move on to golf. We'll go over the current leaderboard for the Sanderson Farms Championship. So, your leader right now is a tie with 6 unders, Davis Riley and Will Gordon. Tied for third with 5 under, Adam Putnam, Christian Ziedenhout, Brandon Matthews, Chun On Yu, Mark Hubbard, Trevor Cohn, and Thomas Dietrich. Tied for 10th with 4 under, Nate Taylor, Adam Svensson, Russell Knox, Seung-Hoon Kim, and Kevin Roy. Tied for 15th with 3 under, Brandon Wu, Sepp Straka, Scott Stallings, Stefan Yeager, Grayson Sieg, Martin Laird, Augusto Nunez, Luke List, Brian Stewart, and Sechung Du. Tied for 25th with 2 under is a pretty big time. Just goes through notables at this point because we're not great on time here. Tied for 25th with 2 under, Vincent Whaley, Grayson Higo, Stuart Sink, Keegan Bradley, Chung Sampong, Kevin Tway, Adam Long, Wyndham Clark, Callum Tarrant, Lucas Hodges, Austin Smotherman, Sam Ryder, Sam Burns, Justin Lauer, Chasen Hadley, MJ Daffey, Nate Hardy. Tied for 46th with 1 under, Dylan Fratelli, Mackenzie Hughes, Alex Smalley, Dylan McCarthy, Joel Dahman, Kevin Stroman, Seamus Power, Brendan Todd, Robert Streb, Taylor Moore, Nate Lashley, Sam Piercy, Rory Sabatini, Dylan Lingmerth, Henrik Norlander, William McGirt, Ryan Moore, Joseph Brumlett, Robbie Shelton, tied for 70th at even money's Adam Shank, Gary Woodland, that was my pick, Matt Neesmith, Bryce Garnett, Ben Griffin, Patrick Rogers, Andrew Landry, Harry Higgs, Peter Malnati, Brendan Steele, Michael Giljick, Cam Young, Davis Thompson. Tied for 89th with 1 over, Richie Wierenski, Kramer Hickok, Adam Hadwin, Aaron Ray, Nate Watney, Chris Kirk, Ryan Henley, C. Thiglia, Emiliano Grillo, and Dylan Wu. Tied for 107th with 2 over, Max McGreevy, Patton Kazir, Joaquin Herman, Tyler Duncan, Ben Martin, Davis Lipsky. Tied for 116th with 3 over, Harry English, Cesar V, Michael Thompson, Matt Trainer. Tied for 128th with 4 over, Vincent Taylor, JT Potson, Ryan Moore. He's in the tie for 134th with 5 over with Jason Duffner. And that's it among the notables. All right, now move on to NASCAR. We have every league going this weekend. So, how about this? We have a back-to-back tomorrow. At 12:30, we have the Trucks and Xfinity at 4. So, the Truck Series on Fox Sports 1 from Talladega. Should be a good race. Talladega is always fun. So, here's some NASCAR news. Alec Bowman missed the playoff race at Talladega, so that's not great. So I'm going to pull up the odds on DraftKings real quick. All right, so my pick to win the Chevy Silverado 250. I'm going to go with Grant Effinger at 10-1. And then the Xfinity races at 4 o'clock on USA from Talladega. The Sparks 300, I'm going to pick. Let's go with Sheldon Creed at 15-1. And the Cup Series. The Yellowwood 500, 2 o'clock on NBC. I'm going to go with Chase Elliott at 12-1. I'm surprised that Chase Elliott's in the double digits here for numbers. So I'm going to go 12-1 for Chase Elliott to win the Yellowwood 500 at Talladega. We're not going to do Survivor today because we don't have time, so we're going to do news and notes. We have a lot to discuss. We'll start with the Tua situation. So as we know, Tua was stretched off after getting thrown to the ground on the sack. And then he was ruled out as he went to the hospital with head and neck injuries. And then it was reported that he was conscious and had movement in all of his body after being taken to the hospital. And then he traveled back with the team back to Miami. And Mike McDaniels defends Tua playing despite the injury. And the Players Association came out and says that they will pursue every legal option as it investigates whether Tua should have played. Obviously, that's a big deal. There's going to be a lot to come out of this. I think the Dolphins are going to get in trouble. And Josina Anderson reported that Tua's first scans were negative as he flew back with the team in a neck brace. And I don't think he really should have flown either. There's still optimism that Christian McCaffrey will play week 4, barring a setback with the thigh injury. Chiefs-Bucks is staying at Raymond James Stadium after Hurricane Ian. That storm's kind of gone, and Tampa Bay wasn't as affected as much as, say, Fort Myers and Sarasota and Naples. So that makes sense. Mac Jones tells his teammates, "Don't count me out," despite the ankle injury. There is confidence that Lonzo Ball will only miss a few months following left knee surgery, so he could return this season. So there was a trade last night between the Rockets and the Thunder, which kind of surprised me. This was a big deal, so I had to pull up Woj's account here. The Thunder traded Derek Favors, Ty Jerome, Mo Harkless, Theo Milden, and a 2025 second-round pick via Atlanta to the Rockets for David Nwaba, Sterling Brown, Trey Burke, and Marquise Chris. A lot of moving pieces here in this deal. I just think that the Thunder are probably cutting some costs here with some of these contracts and throwing in some sweeteners. And I think that both teams will turn around and trade some of those veterans onto some contending teams as well. So I kind of like it for both teams, but not love it per se. Because like I said, they did this to try to get more veterans to spin them off for more as well. Anthony Davis says that LeBron has been in his year about taking over the reins of the Lakers heading into the season, as he wants AD to step up. Of course, he wants AD to step up because he played hurt for most of last year. And it's just absolutely brutal. Shohei Ohtani had a no-hitter into the 8th inning against the Athletics, as it was broken up with 2 outs in the 8th. That's a nice response for Shohei Ohtani. You know he's not going to win MVP. He's just showing out at this point against lousy opponents on a lousy team. We mentioned this earlier in the show. The Blue Jays did clinch a playoff spot with the Orioles losing to the Red Sox yesterday. How about this? Yadier Molina will be the manager of Team Puerto Rico for the 2023 World Baseball Classic. That is absolutely sick. And I think this would be a good audition for him in case teams are looking for new managers and with somebody that played or is currently playing. But I think he's retiring at the end of the year, if I'm not mistaken. So that's pretty cool. Carlos Correa says that the Twins need to pay up as he doesn't rule out staying in Minnesota if they meet his price. Julio Rodriguez to return on Monday, as he was taking swings yesterday ahead of coming off the injury list. So that's good news for the Mariners. They need him back. And the Mets call up Francisco Alvarez for the big series against the Braves. That, I think, is a really ballsy move by the Mets. And I don't blame them because they absolutely need these games. And their offense really hasn't done a lot lately. So why not try to give it a spark? The Toronto Maple Leafs, reported by Elliot Friedman, will go after Connor McDavid, as he puts in his 32 Thoughts column that Toronto will factor Connor McDavid into its long-term cap plans. Oh my goodness. Why are we talking about Connor McDavid's free agency already? Didn't he just sign a big money extension several years ago? That would just be insane. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day. And we'll do Fab 5 as well, brought to you by FanDuel. I'm going to do a quarter unit for best bet. And I'm going to lay the points with FAU UTSA against Middle Tennessee. I knew it was somebody. UTSA minus the 4.5 against Middle Tennessee. Middle Tennessee, big letdown after the big win at Miami. UTSA, Roadrunners, one of the best teams in this conference. So I think they're going to lay the wood to Middle Tennessee tonight. All right, Fab 5. We'll start in college football. Low-key bonus pick there with UTSA being best bet. So without further ado, here's the Fab 5 for the week. My first pick for the Fab 5 this week will be Auburn getting 8.5 against LSU. I think that Auburn will be ready to go. And I think they are a team that tends to get up for these games. So I'm going to take Auburn getting 8.5 at home against LSU. Next up, I'm going to take Purdue getting the 12.5 at Minnesota. I think that Purdue is a team that wants to come out and make a statement and say, hey, don't forget about us. Minnesota is newly ranked, and they're given double digits at home. Give me Purdue. Next up, I'm taking Boston College getting the big number at home against Louisville. That is way too many points. And I think that BC will be playing well at home. I don't know if they'll necessarily win outright like my numbers say they will. But I think that they'll stay within the 14.5. The fourth pick of Fab 5, I am going to go with the over 43.5 in NC State Clemson. I think that is just extremely low. So I'm going to take the over 43.5 in NC State Clemson. And the final pick of the Fab Five, I'm debating whether to keep it going with UCF. You know what I am. I'm going to take UCF against SMU. Going against SMU has been absolute money so far this year. So I'm going to continue the trend of going against SMU for one more week, as I'm going to take UCF minus 3.5 against SMU. And then the money line pick of the week. I'm only going to do a quarter unit on money line pick of the week because just need to do some wiggle room. So the money line pick of the week, I'm going to go with the Auburn Tigers at plus 250 over LSU for the reasons I mentioned earlier. All right, the NFL Fab Five now. This is a harder one to do than the college one in some ways. But here we go. I'm going to lay the 3.5 with Indy against the Titans. I think that the Colts are much better than Tennessee. And I think that they will come out and win this game pretty convincingly. So I'm going to take the Colts minus the 3.5 against the Titans. Next up, I'm going to lay 6.5 points with the Philadelphia Eagles at home against the Jaguars. I love Philly in this spot. I think that they're much better than the Jaguars from a talent standpoint, and they'll win the game by double digits. So give me Philly minus 6.5 at home against the Jaguars. The next pick, I'm going to take the Ravens getting the 3 against the Bills. I think that getting that 3 number is pretty key. And worst case scenario, I push. The next pick, I'm going to lay 9.5 points with the Green Bay Packers against the Patriots. I think that is an absolute gift. They get to get the Packers under 10 without Mac Jones. So I'm going to take the Packers minus the 9.5. And the last pick of the Fab Five, this is a tough one. Do I hold off for Monday night? Or do I take a team at a juice number? I'm gonna hold off to Monday night because I have a pretty good number. So I'm gonna hold the last pick to Monday night, and then the money line pick of the week, I'm gonna take the Baltimore Ravens at plus 136 against the Bills for the money line pick of the week. So there you have it for the podcast. Long show as it is going to be on Fridays. So Monday we'll recap everything and look ahead to everything on Monday. News and notes, best bet, and a lot more. Have a great weekend, everyone.